Imagine a time when European monarchs were obsessed, not just with power, but with these exotic treasures, things that seemed almost magical.
Right, they craved secrets from far-off lands. And let's be honest, they were also chasing that mythical philosopher's stone.
Yeah, the whole turn led into gold thing. It was this fascinating mix, wasn't it? Luxury, alchemy, and this deep desire to make the ordinary extraordinary.
Absolutely. A potent combination of ambition and maybe a little bit of wishful thinking.
But here's the really interesting part, the twist we're exploring today. What if those early artisans, without fancy microscopes or modern chemistry, were actually doing something we'd now call nanoscale engineering?
It sounds futuristic, but that's essentially what the evidence points towards. It was an era of intense curiosity, intense ambition, art, science, even desperation, all converging.
Rulers wanted what no one else had, and they'd fund some pretty wild experiments to get it.
Exactly. And that leads us right into this deep dive.
We're zooming in on one specific, really dazzling example, this iridescent purple luster. You find it on some of the earliest 18th century porcelain from the world-famous Meissen manufactory.
And we're going beyond just what you see. We're peeling back the layers, quite literally, to find the microscopic marvels, the tiny hidden secrets behind this incredible historical artistry.
How it shimmers, how it shifts color.
Our guide on this journey into this, tiny but really profound world is some fantastic new research. We're leaning heavily on a study that just came out in PNAS, that's the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences.
Okay.
And it's by a team of really sharp researchers, Celia Sharia, Zane W. Taylor, Aniko Bazur, Sujing Shi, and Catherine T. Faber. Their work really cracked this open.
Fantastic. So get ready, everyone, because we're about to see how art, those old alchemical dreams, and actually cutting-edge nanoscale science all came together centuries ago.
And as you'll hear, understanding these old techniques, it still gives us fascinating insights today. It might even change how you see some modern pop culture icons.
Okay, let's set the scene. Cast your mind back, say, 17th century Europe. What was the big deal about Chinese hard-paste porcelain? Why did the aristocracy go so crazy for it?
Well, it was far more than just, fancy cups and saucers. It was genuinely revered as white gold.
White gold?
Yeah, this stuff was incredibly delicate, beautifully translucent, and the secret to making it that was guarded so closely by Chinese potters for centuries.
Ah, the mystery adds to the allure.
Definitely. Think of it like the ultimate luxury good. Super rare, super desirable, a massive status symbol that everyone wanted, but nobody in Europe could properly replicate.
What made it so different, technically?
Well, its composition. Things like mullite crystals, quartz grains, and this glassy matrix.
Yeah.
It was just completely different from anything European ceramicists knew, so the secret felt even more out of reach.
Makes sense. Okay, so into this picture steps Augustus the Strong. He's the Elector of Saxony, a very ambitious guy. And he wasn't just obsessed with porcelain.
No, he had this double obsession. He was also desperately chasing the alchemist's ultimate dream, turning ordinary metals into gold, the philosopher's stone.
Right, so a ruler fixated on both mystical gold and really nice dinnerware. That's quite a character.
He really was. And his dual obsessions, they really drove some extraordinary and sometimes, frankly, desperate actions. He saw alchemists as potential money-making machines for his kingdom.
Which leads us directly to Johann Friedrich Böttger. In 1702, Augustus basically summons this alchemist to his palace in Dresden.
Pretty much orders him, find the philosopher's stone, make gold. An impossible task, really.
So how did that work out for Böttger at first, I'm guessing? Not well.
Oh, not well at all. He had a string of failed experiments. He even tried to flee multiple times but got dragged back. Things looked really bleak for him.
Yikes, under pressure.
Huge pressure. Until, as the sources say, his luck turned around in 1708.
And what a turnaround. This is huge. Böttger didn't find the philosopher's stone, but he did manage to appease Augustus.
By cracking the other secret, he successfully produced the first true hard-paste porcelain in Europe.
Wow, the white gold they'd been chasing.
Exactly, that was it. And this breakthrough led directly to establishing the Meissen manufactory in 1710. And incredibly, that factory is still producing amazing porcelain today.
An amazing legacy from, an alchemist's predicament and a king's obsession.
It really is. But, okay, even after figuring out the porcelain recipe, Meissen hit another wall.
Oh, decoration.
Decoration. For about its first decade, the manufactory really struggled to develop those colorful, overglazed decorations, the painted designs.
Why was this so hard?
The firing temperatures. Porcelain needs incredibly high heat. We're talking over 1,350 degrees Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
Most pigments, most colors, they just couldn't take it. They'd burn off or change completely.
Ah, okay. So they had the perfect white canvas, the white gold, but painting it beautifully was a whole other challenge. They needed another breakthrough.
Precisely. And that's where Böttger luster finally comes into the picture.
The purple shimmer we started with.
That's the one. It was a major step forward to this purple iridescent overglaze decoration. It had other names too, mother of pearl glaze, opal glaze, or a bit confusingly, copper color.
Huh. Copper color for purple.
Yeah, naming wasn't always straightforward back then, but this distinct luster, it showed up pretty early in that first Böttger period, roughly 1710 to 1719, and they kept using it until about 1735.
And its special quality was this iridescence.
Exactly, that's what made it stand out. It wasn't just a flat purple. It had this unique shimmer, this iridescence.
Meaning the color changes depending on how you look at it.
Right. It creates this shimmering, dynamic, almost alive effect.
Yeah.
Totally different from other purple glazes they had at the time.
Sounds captivating. So what did the PNAS researchers find? What's the secret behind that shimmer?
Okay, this is the core finding. The iridescence and that specific purple color of Böttger luster, it's all down to the presence of gold nanoparticles within the glaze.
Gold. Tiny particles of actual gold.
Tiny particles of gold. So the white gold really did have gold in it, just not in the way Augustus originally hoped.
Not the philosopher's stone way. Now, you mentioned Meissen also used another gold-based purple around the same time.
That's a really important point, yes. They also used something called purple of Cassius, also gold-based.
Okay, so what was the difference?
Here's the crucial thing. Purple of Cassius produced non-iridescent colors. Solid purples, maybe leaning towards pink sometimes, but definitely no shimmer.
Interesting. So same element gold, but totally different visual effects.
Exactly. And that sets up the big scientific puzzle. How can two glazes, both using gold nanoparticles for color, behave so differently? One shimmers, one is flat. What's going on at the nanoscale?
That's a fantastic question. Let's try and help everyone visualize this difference. Think about iconic purples, maybe from pop culture.
Good idea.
Okay, first, purple of Cassius, the non-iridescent one. Imagine a classic, bold purple, like the color prints used in Purple Rain.
Oh, perfect example.
Right, when you see that color, it's just powerful, singular, makes a statement. And it looks pretty much the same purple no matter the angle. That's like purple of Cassius, solid, consistent, no visual tricks.
Okay, got it. Consistent purple.
Now for the Böttger luster, think about something totally different. Imagine, say, the fabric of a really high-fashion gown on a red carpet, one that seems to shift color as the person moves.
Yeah, or like those custom paint jobs on show cars, where the color seems to flow and change as you walk around it.
Exactly. Or even maybe a really well-applied iridescent eyeshadow, the kind a pop star might wear on stage. That subtle or sometimes not so subtle shimmer where the color seems to dance and change. That's the Böttger luster effect.
It's almost magical looking. That dynamic, shifting quality is what sets it apart. It's superpower, like you said.
So the mystery the researchers tackled was, what tiny differences, invisible to us, create this huge visual contrast? How does one gold glaze stay flat purple and the other become this shimmering spectacle?
It really is like a detective story at the nanoscale.
Okay, let's get into the answers then. Decoding this nanoscale engineering. What did the researchers find when they looked closely at the Böttger luster's structure?
Right, so they examined historical pieces,
Yeah.
and they found this incredibly thin layer, the luster layer. It's only about 0.3 to 0.8 micrometers thick.
Micrometers? How thin is that?
Well, a human hair is maybe 50 to 100 micrometers thick. So this layer is really, really thin.
Wow. Okay.
And within this thin layer, embedded in the lead silicate glaze, are the gold nanoparticles.
But it's not just that they're there, right? It's how they are.
Precisely. This is the absolute key finding. The gold nanoparticles in Böttger luster have a wide distribution of sizes. They're not uniform at all.
Meaning some are bigger, some smaller.
Exactly. They vary significantly. The average radius is about 34 nanometers, but the variation is huge, plus or minus 47 nanometers. And the spacing between them, their nearest neighbor separations, that varies a lot too. This polydispersity, lots of different sizes and spacings, that's the secret sauce.
Okay, polydispersity. So how does that mix of sizes create the color and the shimmer?
It's kind of a two-part process involving optical physics. First, the smaller nanoparticles in that range, say radius around 15 to 250 nanometers, they interact with light, mainly through something called Meissen scattering.
Me scattering.
Okay, that's what primarily produces the basic purple color. But on its own, my scattering doesn't give you iridescence. It just makes it purple.
So where does the shimmer come from?
That comes from the larger nanoparticles, the ones around 100 nanometers radius, and crucially, their wider and disordered spacing. This arrangement creates a phenomenon similar to, like, a diffraction grating, but messier. Light waves bounce off these unevenly spaced gold particles and interfere with each other.
Ah, interference, like how you see colors in an oil slick or a soap bubble?
Sort of, yeah. Or a peacock feather or an opal. The color changes with the angle because the light interference changes with the angle. That's what gives you the shifting colors, the luster, the iridescence.
So it's a combination. Me scattering for the base purple color and this disordered array interference for the shimmer effect.
You got it. It's the combined effect. Now contrast that with purple of Cassius.
The non-shimmery one.
Right. The way it was made was totally different. The gold nanoparticles for purple of Cassius, which were much smaller on average, about 16 nanometers radius, and much more uniform in size, they were actually formed before being mixed into the glaze.
How did they do that?
Typically by mixing chemicals like tin chloride with gold chloride. This preformation step resulted in nanoparticles that were smaller and pretty much all the same size.
Okay, so uniformity is the key difference here.
Exactly. Because these particles were small and uniform, they mainly just did the me scattering thing. They produced that lovely purple or pink color. But crucially,
No variation in size and spacing.
right, they didn't have the necessary variation to create that light interference effect in the visible spectrum. No interference means no shimmer, no iridescence, just a solid, consistent color, like the Prince album cover.
That makes so much sense now. The disorder in Böttger luster was actually the key to its special effect.
It seems counterintuitive, but yes. And to really nail this down, the researchers did something brilliant. They recreated Böttger luster in the lab.
Oh, cool. Using the old recipes.
Well, they adapted them slightly for safety. Instead of using something called aurum fulminans, a seriously unstable and explosive gold compound mentioned in historical notes, they used safer modern chemicals, like gold chloride.
Probably a wise move.
Definitely. And what they found was amazing. Their lab-made luster also showed that same polydispersed distribution of gold nanoparticles, average radius around 89 nanometers, plus or minus 52 nanometers.
So it worked. They replicated the effect.
Yes, and it perfectly confirmed their theory. You need that variety of sizes and spacings to get the iridescent shimmer. It's like they reverse-engineered the centuries-old technique and proved the nanoscale physics behind it.
It really drives home that this isn't just about, dusty old pottery. It's proof that incredibly sophisticated nanoscale engineering was happening centuries before we even had the words for it.
Absolutely. These artisans were manipulating matter at a level they couldn't even see, guided by observation and trial and error, achieving effects based on fundamental physics.
It really highlights how basic principles, light, matter, chemistry, control everything we see, whether it's a historical artifact or the latest smartphone screen.
The laws of physics were always operating, even if the understanding came much later.
And the study connects this to later science too, right?
Yes, the authors make a great point in the significance section. This research ties into the work of the Nobel laureate Richard Sigmundy. In the early 20th century, he was studying gold-based colors in glass and glazes, which led him into the whole field of colloids, these finely dispersed particles.
Like nanoparticles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his work even pushed the development of early microscopes powerful enough to start resolving these tiny structures. So there's this amazing through line from ancient alchemy and craft through early colloid science right up to modern nanoscience.
It's a fantastic connection. So recapping the aha moment.
Yeah.
The magic shimmer of Böttger luster, the thing that royalty coveted. It wasn't magic.
Nope. It was elegant nanoscale physics. A disordered array of varied-sized gold nanoparticles causing light interference. That's what made it different from the simple, non-iridescent purple made with uniform particles.
It completely changes how you think about that early modern craftsmanship.
It really does. And it's a brilliant example of how studying cultural heritage with modern science keeps revealing these deep insights into the history of technology, into fundamental physics. These artifacts are like time capsules of ingenuity.
They hold scientific secrets, just waiting for us to decode them. Okay, that leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. Think about these special effects that catch your eye today. Maybe it's the shimmer on a pop star's outfit. Maybe it's a visual effect in a movie that looks impossibly cool.
What other seemingly magical effects, both in our past and present world, might be hiding similarly elegant but unseen nanoscale secrets? Secrets just waiting for us to figure them out.